Welcome to another PHP tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to pass an array into a function. So in previous tutorials we looked at how to create and use functions, create and use arrays, and create and use variables. And we looked at how to pass variables into a function as arguments. So today we'll look at how to pass an array into a function. So for this example I'm going to create an array called scores, which will contain a range of numbers or scores, and then a function which will calculate the average of those scores. Okay, so to start with, we'll create an array called scores. Okay, so we'll call it scores. Whoops. Scores equals array, and I'll put in some random numbers here, maybe about 6 numbers in this array. Alright, so we've got 6 numbers there in this array. And then what I'll do is create the average function. Oops. So create the average function. So function average. And what we'll do is pass the array into this function. So the array will be the argument. So we can just create a variable here to be used inside the array, which will be called array. Okay, and what we can do is create a new variable called 0, and we'll create a new variable called total, and we'll set the total variable to 0. Okay, so total equals 0. Alright, so we've got a variable called total set to 0, and then we can have a for each loop which will basically add the value of each item in the array one by one. So we'll take the array, and it will grab each value and add them one by one in the array. Okay, so we can say for each $array $value. So for each array as value, I'll just add a comment here. So we're adding the value of each item in the array one by one. Okay, to do that, we'll put total plus equals value. Okay, and that's it for the for each loop. We're still inside this function. So after that, what we'll do is calculate the average and return the result. Okay, so we can just say return total divided by count array. Okay, oops, sorry, you don't need $sign count, we need count there. So we're saying return total, so the total variable, divided by count of the array. So we're counting the values, the number of values in the array, so there's 6 values in the array, and it's saying return total divided by the number of items in the array. Okay, so whatever the total is will, in this example, be divided by 6 because there's 6 items in the array. Okay, and that will work out the average. Okay, so it's returning that value when the function is called and used, but in order to know what array this is going to be working with, we need to actually pass the array into this function called average in order for that array to be used. So what we'll do is we'll call the function, but we'll specify an argument. So call the average function and use the scores array as the argument. Okay, so to do that, we can say something like this. So we can say echo so that it displays on the screen. Average equals, and then call the function, and inside brackets specify the array that we want to pass into the function, and that's it. Okay, so we can save that and launch that page, and there we go. We've got average equals 48.333 and so on. Okay, so we could use many different arrays with this function. So we've only got one array called scores, but we could have different arrays that we could pass into there. It wouldn't matter how long those arrays were or what the values were, because this function would process that array and work out the average. So if we changed the values here, and run it again, we'll get a different average there. Okay, so that's how to pass an array into a function with PHP. And that's all for this tutorial. Thanks for watching.